welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about my absolute favorite products. Not my monthly favorites, but absolute favorite products of all time that I've found so far. So let's get right into it. The first product I'm going to talk about is my cleanser. This is one by Dermalogica. It is called the Special Cleansing Gel. It's for normal to oily skin. It is a gel, so it's not, so if you have drier skin, you're going to want to gravitate towards cream cleansers and things like that. This is definitely formulated for normal to oily skin, and I cannot live without it. My skin has never been clear or looked better since when I started using this, and I just can't live without it. But the product that I pair it with all the time is this one by Dermalogica, and I will put it all in the down bar as well, is the Daily Microfoliant, and it just leaves your skin so beautifully exfoliated. These two together have just made my skin look better than it ever has in my entire life. So these are my kind of like live or die skincare products. The next product we're gonna get into makeup is my foundation base, and this is one that I use. It is by Lancome. It's called La Base Pro. It is my foundation base. This one is by Lancome. It's called La Base Pro. It helps your foundation last longer. It also helps prevent it from oxidizing. That's when your foundation can get orange or look several shades darker than it did when you first applied. It mixes with the oil and the elements in the air and can make it appear darker. So this helps prevent that, and it is just amazing. I noticed that my foundation lasts all day long. I never ever touch up my foundation, and I think this is one of the products that helps it last all day. My actual foundation, which as you know is like a great pair of jeans, there's nothing like it, you just adore it with everything, is this Lancome foundation. I'm not even going to say the name because I'm going to butcher it, but it is a long wearing foundation. It is matte. It is for someone with more normal to oily skin. Obviously that's the kind of skin I have, so I gravitate towards something more matte so that I don't look really shiny. I like to put my illuminators where I want them and not necessarily in spots where are not my favorite. So I love this foundation. It lasts all day long. It's supposed to be a 24-hour foundation. I've never tested that, but it also has SPF 15, and it's amazing. If you have normal to oily skin and can't find a foundation that you like, I highly recommend it. It is a little pricey. I want to say it's $42.50, but it's like those favorite pair of jeans. There's really nothing that beats an amazing foundation. The next product I'm going to talk about is some blushes that I absolutely adore. These are by Tarte. This one is Doll Face and this one is Blissful. These are my two favorites. They are Amazonian clay blushes and they last all day long without retouching. This one is Blissful and this one is Doll Face. One is more peachy, one is more pink, depending if you have a warm or a cool look on. These don't have any shimmer at all. They are matte, and again, they do last all day. The next product I'm going to talk about are my favorite blushes. They are by the company Tarte. This one is Doll Face and this one is Blissful. Let me open them for you so you can see them. This is Blissful and this is Doll Face, and you can see the difference. Much more peachy and much more pink. These are long wear blushes without any shimmer at all. They're great for people with normal to oily skin. They're not going to move around. They don't require a lot of touch up. Oftentimes one of the first products you'll see kind of dissipate from your face are your blushes. These don't do that. They do tend to last all day, which I absolutely love. And again, I'm not a real shimmer person unless I'm putting the highlight where I want it. So I like my blushes to be matte, and these Tarte ones are kind of unbeatable in that regard. So these I definitely highly recommend. I think they're like $23.50 or so. I'll look it up and put it in the down bar, but they are amazing. The next product, you're going to see a running theme. I like long wear things. We do work really long hours, so whenever I'm choosing a product, that's definitely something that I'm looking for. Is it long wearing? Does it not require a lot of fussing and touch up? And this helps with that as well. This is the Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray. I use this every single day. It doesn't make me break out. I literally do not touch my makeup once I apply it. The only thing I ever reapply is lipstick if I do that. And these three products together are really like a match made in heaven. I never have to retouch my makeup. Sometimes when I come home in the evening and I look at my face, I really cannot believe how well my makeup has held up. The only part that starts to wear off a little bit is on the tip of my nose, and that's because I have such bad allergies that I'm oftentimes wiping my nose a lot. But other than that, my overall foundation is pretty much intact, and that's kind of unbeatable. Once you find that that kind of combination of products, stick with it. Your skin will love you. Your skin loves anything that helps it normalize. So trying a bunch of different products, always having something new on your skin is going to react to that. So once you find that perfect for you match, whether it be foundation, moisturizer, things like that, stick to it. Your skin will appreciate consistency more than anything else. Even if you're never washing your face, believe it or not, your skin will adapt to that. Your skin is always trying to return back to its normal state. So once you find those products, stick with them. The next product I'm going to talk about is an eyeshadow base. If you're not using an eyeshadow base and you're really frustrated with how your eye makeup looks, I guarantee you this is the product you're missing. Now, a lot of them work very similarly, and it's kind of just what is important to you. But this is the best one that I have found. This one is by NARS. It's called Pro Prime Smudgeproof Eyeshadow Base. It prevents creasing. It helps your eyeshadow be truer to the color in the pan. And again, makes it last a long time, pretty much all day. If you're finding that you look at your palette and then you're applying it to your eye and you're like, my gosh, it's such a light wash of color when I put it on my eye, or you have creasing because you tend to have oily eyelids, this is the product that will help with that. So I highly, highly, highly recommend it. If you're frustrated with makeup, oftentimes when I speak to women, this is the product they're missing. Once they fix that, they're like, oh my gosh, how did I ever live without it? So this is definitely a must, must, must. My next favorite that I want to talk about is what I use to set my concealer under my eyes, and it is this Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. It is an extremely finely milled, I just reordered it, extremely finely milled powder that's not going to settle into your fine lines. So as you mature, or if you already have fine lines around your eyes, the last thing you want to do is put a concealer there that's going to kind of like melt into those lines and then apply powder, kind of setting those in place. This product, along with my concealer, which I'll talk about next, are just phenomenal with that. It's so finely milled that it's not going to settle into those lines. It also does have this, for lack of a better word, shimmer. It's not necessarily a shimmer because that just draws your eye to something, but it has this like blurring effect to where any fine lines that I do have under my eyes, once I put this on, are kind of like, they vanish. It's just a beautiful product. If you're not sure what to set your under eye concealer with, or you're not setting it at all and you're finding it smudging around throughout the day, this is the product you want to get. I have tried so many. The one I used to love was by Benefit, and it was slightly pink in color, which was fabulous because pink helps to neutralize like dark circles and things, but they discontinued it. So this is what I'm using in its place, and I'm really happy with it as well. The only thing I wish is that it was tinted slightly pink, but what can you do? So the concealer that I use two. So I use this one by Maybelline, and it's just the drugstore Instant Age Rewind, if I could spit it out. Instant Age Rewind eraser for dark circles. I just put a few, like one swoop or two of this and press it in with my finger. And then for a little more coverage, I go in with this MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. But this is what I use to kind of make that V. I'm also using it for highlighting. So these together are what I'm using to both cover my dark circles and to highlight. So this is really, really thin product. It doesn't move once it's in place. Oftentimes concealers tend to be super creamy, which is good, but if you have oily skin at all, or if you do have fine lines, products that are really creamy can tend to like move around and settle in those. So this doesn't do that. But whenever you want to get your concealer, especially if you're using it for highlighting, in about 2 shades lighter than your normal foundation, and this is an exact match. I was at MAC and they didn't have mine, so I went ahead and settled for this, but you do want to get it a couple shades lighter. Just a couple more products that I'm going to talk about. I talked about shimmer and not wanting shimmery products on my skin unless I put them there. Well, with oily skin, it's really hard to find a highlighter that's flattering because anything with shimmer is going to draw attention to something. So when you're applying a highlighter, say right here, if you have oily skin, that means you do have larger pores, whether we like to admit it or not. And when you put something shimmery, it will kind of draw attention to that. So if it's not finely milled enough, it tends to just scream, look at my large pores, which sucks. Nobody wants that. So the product I found that's perfect, super subtle, great for brides, is this Hourglass product. This is a palette that has 3 separate shades in it, but the one I really want to talk about is the one in the center, and it's called Incandescent Light, and it does come singly like this. This is the normal size, but this is diffused light, which is a little bit different. This one is not a highlighter. This one just helps to kind of soften the look overall of your foundation. But for highlighting, this is the product I like to use, and I literally take a brush like this, dip it in there, and then I just brush it on the tops of my cheekbones, in the center of my forehead, down my nose, on my cupid's bow. But because it's so finely milled and has such a fine, beautiful light shimmer, it just highlights your cheekbones beautifully without drawing attention to things that you don't want. Because when you're highlighting, you're trying to draw attention to the beautiful things about your face. So that is all I have for you today. I know I was talking fast. I was so excited to share everything with you. I will have normal monthly favorites that I'll share with you, but those are my absolute cannot live without products. I'm going to do a favorite brush video. A lot of good stuff is coming, but all the products I talked about today, I will list below with a link to where you can get them if you're interested. So until next time, bye-bye.